It might be crazy, ladies and gentlemen, that the New York Knicks are back in the postseason for a third consecutive year. But this night on this platform is going to be even crazier because it's so crazy. I'm giving you two for the price of one here in a special weekend edition here of Sportswire Radio. And boy, do we have plenty to talk about because our man who's back here once again in his monthly spot has got plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk about from my state, the Empire State. And let's just say the big dog was channeling his own version of Umaga. He was doing his own Tongan death grip. And boy, does he have plenty to say. And what got into him earlier this week in House of Misfits Entertainment's home backyard episode show. He'll talk about that. He'll also talk about what about those roommates championships. We'll get into that. We'll also most certainly talk about what is the future for the big dog in, well, NEW and especially the riot in the ring too. Plus, who knows whatever else, because we've got plenty to talk about with the big dog. You want to talk about meat, slapping meat? Oh, we're going to show you that match. And we're going to talk about two men that the big dog is going to be really familiar with coming up here in about 2.5 months. I'll get to that, plus who knows whatever else. Then later on, we'll have the death match juggalo, Brian White, who makes his long-awaited return to Sportswire Radio. And he won't be coming out to the oddities. He'll be coming out to my introduction of him. But before we get to all of that, you're here in the chat. Torrance Banks is here back in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he, NEW and home most certainly helped build to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. It is now time to give him that introduction because I've got my trusty Mountain Dew on my side. I've got my eye drops in, and I'm ready to get this show on the road in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all wrestling matters. In the words of Def Leppard singer Joe Elliott, let's get rocked. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, Global Sports Show. X is most certainly going to give it to you. But in the meantime, I think he's one half of the House of Misfits Entertainment, Backyard Wrestling, Roommates Champions. You'll see him in the Riot in the Ring too. He's a former head of the household champion. His name is simply put, the Big Dog.
Hello, everybody. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go.
It's
Man.
X gonna give it to you. The champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
Tom, that intro gets better every single time you do this, man. Like, it gets better every single time. But everybody. How are we doing? How are you
Well,
doing,
we got some
Tom?
people here tonight, and Hillbilly Tilly says I should keep the war chant. Tomorrow's guest, Sean Jovi,
Good.
he's fired up. I see Tuesday, one of Tuesday's guests, Austin Edwards, is fired up. So, yeah, the chat is fired up. They like the intro because you're back, and we're in prime time, and it's good to be with you and everyone here right now.
Absolutely. It is great to be here with everybody on a wonderful Saturday night. You know, as we're getting ready up here in Buffalo, we're getting ready for House of Misfits to go once again give you yet another banger of a show like we always do in Buffalo.
I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about that. What a banger. What a way you guys started the show this week. I mean, I think one of the best segments leading into a number one contender and a world champion coming in, and maybe in the whole year in the underground. So I loved everybody coming in and just that build up and just the chants. Speaking of war chants, I mean, boy, the crowd there in Buffalo, was really fired up there. Boy, I mean, I thought stuff was going to be thrown in the ring when Mickey Vargas got interrupted.
Because you think about it, okay, with Mickey Vargas, you have 3 of the absolute top wrestlers in House of Misfits.
Absolutely.
Coming after him for his championship. You got Tito, who's the residence champion, who wants to be Tito 2 belts.
Very impressive in a short amount of time what Tito has done.
Absolutely. Almost has a year, almost right now, as I'm counting the days, almost a year reign with the residence championship. He has Yardcade 3 to have that year as champion. Then you got, I can't call him E Breeze anymore. You got Smalls, who's, again, very, very impressive. Just left JTA, wants a world title shot.
Well, JTA came out, and he had his own words there for him.
Exactly. And then you have, of course, Buffalo's unwanted member, Luke fucking Draven, who wants a world title shot, too. Like, this is going to be an interesting couple of months going into the summer with House of Misfits.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited.
Trust me, people. You're not going to want to miss it.
No, and Mickey is going to come back to Sportswire very soon. In fact, we were supposed to have Mickey last week, but we messed up the dates. Both he and I had been mixed up. We had a conversation. But you're here, and Mickey is going to be back. We had a great conversation, and I'm excited to speak with the champion. The champ has plenty to say. But let's talk about you, though, for a minute, and we'll put your match up here in a minute. But for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, the big dog Torrance Banks, alongside everybody else here in this chat and House of Misfits Entertainment, Backyard Wrestling, most certainly helped build here, Sportswire Radio. What got into you this past week with that tongue and death grip on Big Chungus? What got into you, my friend?
I don't know, man. You know what they say? Every wise person has a little taste of a dark side to him. And I guess with that tongue and death grip, I guess mine accidentally slipped.
But you almost killed him. You almost killed Big Chungus. I mean, what? I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to almost kill Chungus. I like the guy. The guy's a good guy. He's a good guy, but the problem is he's standing in my way of my ultimate goal. He's standing in my way of what I want to do. And what I want to do is, because Mickey's the only 2-time head of the household champion, right? Yep. There's something bigger than being a 2-time head of the household champion. And that's winning the Triple Crown. And I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there.
Tom, as you know, I'm 1 belt away from it. I'm one belt away, and that's that's Tito and the Residence Championship. And no offense to Chungus, he's good. He's up and coming, but
because you've been a roommate's champion, you've been a head of the household champion, but
exactly
the Residence champion, and Tito's been that champion for a long time. I mean,
almost a year straight, winning against Falcone and Hunter in a death. He won it in a death match, man. He won it in a death match at Yardcade 2, and it was insane.
And that I think that's your partner still in Falcone. I think.
Yes, that is one of my good friends in Falcone. Me and Falcone, we're brothers. He knows. Like, hey, things. I don't know what's going on right now with the.
I want to put the match up here because I know I got people here in the chat. I'm excited about it. It's a big night here on Sportswire. It's a big weekend. Let's go right into it. I'm gonna go lower the volume because we'll get canceled. Even though I like the Nickelback intro, but I will.
We don't want to get canceled.
No, we don't, but that's okay. But let's take this on the screen. Let's go into it here. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like that because I'm on the other YouTube channel here. So we're going to go right about here we go. All right, so we're here right now. Yeah, Big Chungus is dancing, and this is where you're about to have your match coming up in here. And definitely one of the bigger matches in home size-wise in a while. And we're going to find out in a minute. But definitely, you don't certainly come out the way Big Chungus does because X will certainly give it to you. And
absolutely,
we're here right now. And tell us what's going through your mind as you're getting ready to come out here.
Well, two things are going through my mind. Number one, that's a big dude, and number two, how am I going to stop? How am I going to stop that?
Good point.
Stop like the anger in that man from trying to get.
Well, you're a veteran. I mean, you've been around. You can kind of work your way, into something to figure out, your opponent. And I mean,
absolutely. But there's no footage studying Big Chungus. I mean, I'm basically walking in this match blind, pretty much walking into this match blind.
Now that hasn't happened. Well, let me ask you a question. That hasn't happened much in your career, and especially in home.
Walking in blind against an opponent I've never wrestled before? No, that's never happened before ever because every opponent I've wrestled before.
And you've seen tape on them. You've had history, but Big Chungus is somebody that you can't go sit there as some of the wrestlers that come on my platform and talk about tape studying and sitting there and watching match after match. No, you just have to go out there and just, hope springs eternal or just meat slapping meat.
Absolutely. Two big meaty men walking in there, wanting to get a big victory, wanting the momentum, especially going into the spring cleaning pay-per-view. It's like we both want momentum going into it. So it's like,
yeah.
We gotta go. We gotta fight.
Tell me this, because you have been doing this a while, but this is one of those rare matches that you're usually the big guy in the match, but you're actually kind of the smaller guy in this, and this hasn't happened also too often in your career.
It's rarely happened. It's like, okay, if I'm fighting a guy like a Wyatt Gein or something, then Wyatt Gein's taller, but he's not bigger than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Chungus is bigger, a little bit taller, so I'm walking to this man as the underdog in this.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess maybe Onyx or Grimes we could maybe throw out there, but you certainly still are a big guy. You carry your own there, but those chops weren't working there.
And then he's starting the chop where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you this much. His hands are like hella big and like Big Show hands pretty much. His hands are like Big Show hands when he's chopping you, and it's like they hurt. They really hurt.
See
especially how cold it was. Especially how cold it was in that building. His chops add an extra bit of sting to them.
We may be in April, but in New York, it's not quite April yet. I
March.
don't know what.
It's like
I don't know. You taped it in March, but it is that, and the chat's definitely fired up watching the match, and I figured that. That's why we'd have a hot opener here to start. But you're in a disadvantage here, so you haven't been able to prepare. And what are you doing here right now?
Just seeing where right there. I'm just seeing where I could get the weaknesses.
That was a smart
studying his weaknesses.
That was smart right there.
Absolutely. Trying to see and that right there was smart too, because I'm trying to catch his weaknesses and stuff like that, and see right there that chop finally, after the two shots to the jaw, the chop finally affected him a little bit.
You look like that hurt there.
Yeah, he's a big tree. He's a tree that I need to chop down. So I got a lot walking into whenever me and him wrestle the next time. I got a lot. Now I have tape I can study on him, and now I can understand his movements and understand his motions and stuff like that.
Well, we'll see if there is a next time, especially after what you did to him. And we're here watching this match from this most recent episode of House of Misfits Entertainment Backyard Wrestling. I'm going to put the YouTube link up for that here in a second, but we're here with the big dog Torrance Banks, who I think is still one half of the Roommates champions, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. And that punch hurt. Now look at what you're trying to do here. I mean, you were a big man.
I'm trying to Saito's duplex him. Keyword.
Trying is the big word you emphasize. The big word you emphasize.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to. And then he freaking, look at what he does. He puts me in like a headlock choke sort of like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, trying to see like, okay, he put a lot of his weight behind that choke too. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not used to you being in this spot, whether it's, in home or AEW.
Oh, here comes.
Yeah, we're about to see it. Now, here we go. Now, keep an eye on what we're about to see here. This is what. Now, look at that. Look at how firm that tongue and death grip is. I mean, listen, I have been watching wrestling in our circuit for a while, and this man is just, call the coroner.
What's going on? The main question was what was going on with the lights, too. Like, the lights cut off as well. Like,
now, did the light impact you? Because that was a question, because that tongue and death grip looked even tighter as the light changed. I mean, just what got into you there? That's what I ask. What got into you? Don't even know what got into you, sir.
No, I don't. They say it's like a wise person says, everybody has a dark side to them, regardless of if they're like a clean, pure person or not. And I guess Big Chungus got to meet a side that not a lot of people have gotten to see before. And it's like,
but you don't even know that you had, as we see, there's the light. The light dims, and then you sort of let go.
And then the light comes back on.
Afterwards.
Exactly. Like, and then you see I'm angry at first, and then I realize, what the heck happened? Like, I don't even know. Like, we'll just have to wait until.
Well, all right. Let me ask you this question. You were a veteran. You've been around. You've been in several companies before. But let me ask you this question. Have you been in an instance like the one we just witnessed?
What? When I had to turn to the dark side a little
where
bit?
You all of a sudden the light dims, something got into you. It didn't seem like the big dog Torrance Banks that we all know here. Have you experienced something like this in your career?
Yeah. Some of this reminisces from, remember when I was in Jersey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Remember when I was down there? Yeah, pretty much. When I had to wrestle Danny Sorrows down there. Some of that showed up where it's like, okay, Chungus, when he gets in the ring, something snaps. Something snaps in Chungus. So it's like, okay, I may need to have, because with the way the roster is now, I feel like I may need to have more of a killer instinct than I had before.
Well, you've got, I think, a little bit of a different landscape here in home. You've got some newer guys. You've got some guys that are bringing in some size, some attitude. So I ask you then, in the weeks coming up, and certainly going into Yardcade and some other shows here, where does Torrance Banks fit into this picture? You spoke about here a few minutes ago that you wanted the Residence Championship. You didn't want a shot at Vargas. You didn't want that because you're chasing a Triple Crown. So where does the big dog Torrance Banks fit into this new environment here in home?
I fit in where I feel I need to be the top dog again. That I need to be, you know what I mean? Like how DMX said, to be top dog, you have to be top dog.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to be. Without holding the Residence Championship, because my name's on. Without holding the Roommates title, because my name's already on it. But if
also,
it comes a
the
day
possibility of being a double champion, also Triple Crown, potential double champion. That's pretty pretty monumental.
Absolutely, if it's a day where Vargas and I need to face each other, then so be it. We're brothers. At the end of the day, everybody knows. Vargas, me, Luke, we're brothers. But the old saying goes, brothers gonna have to fight each other sometime.
Hey, listen, Draven came out and he referenced their history. He referenced it here in the spot. I mean,
he referenced the unwanted, absolutely.
And this was one of the, I think fire opening spots I've seen the entire year, in underground wrestling, and you could feel that. You could feel the people, but this is not a title you want, but you want the Residence Championship, and that's something that maybe this new attitude, if you have a new attitude, maybe that's something that could propel you to a shot and take that title from Tito.
Absolutely. Hopefully, because you see how serious Smalls is starting to become now. Like, Smalls is starting to become a serious thing around here.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's somebody I feel like I need to get past in order to have a clear shot at Tito. Because I feel like I need to get past Smalls. Formerly known as
what is it that about Smalls that you feel he's standing in your way from immortality in home?
The athleticism. The fact that he's athletic as heck, and right now he's speaking his mind about talking to Mickey Vargas and stuff like that. And it's like, I see Tito, and these two have faced each other multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel, yes, Tito's done a great job with the Residence Championship. You know it, I know it, the entire world knows it. But I feel like there needs to be new blood with that belt. And I feel like being on my shoulder, I can elevate it to heights that I helped elevate the head of the household. Tom, I was already a two-belt champion beforehand.
And I was going to ask also, you talked about Tito, and you talked about him being a champion, though, for about a year. And it's very hard to dethrone somebody that's been a champion that long. They have the power of incumbency. They have the power of holding that title. But you might be that challenger that could give Tito that run for his money because of your experience in being a double champion, being the head of the household champion, being a champion currently. And, you look at just how impressive Tito has been, but maybe you're the guy that could potentially make this where you could be that guy to finally end that reign, that
Tito
long run. Yep.
Absolutely. I feel like I could be that guy to dethrone Tito and become the new Residence Champion and the first and only House of Misfits Entertainment Triple Crown champion.
That's an impressive accomplishment. Now, as you know, a lot of people come on here, but it'd be a Triple Crown winner. I remember when I was a kid, when they talked about, at the time, there was very few Triple Crown winners in WWF. It was, Shawn Michaels. It was, Bret Hart. It was Diesel. There was a handful of guys that won the Triple Crown. Very few wrestlers.
I was going to say, for those that don't know about what a Triple Crown is, it's basically holding a world title, a mid-card championship of any mid-card championship,
and
a tag team.
Yeah.
I've held the tag team. I've held the world. I just need the Residence.
Which is interesting because usually it's either the tag or the world that somebody needs. But in your case, it's actually your version of the Intercontinental Championship and the Residence Championship. But,
absolutely.
A Triple Crown is just, it's a big deal to win a Triple Crown. Like I said, we think about, WWF at the time. And like I said, there was only 3 names that I could think of at the time that won a Triple Crown. They all did it kind of in a, around the same period of time. And in our circuit, there are very few Triple Crown winners. And that definitely could be immortality for you. And that's a lot to think about.
That basically, a Triple Crown, you're basically going down in the books pretty much forever.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Mickey Vargas is too. I mean, the first and only 2-time head of the household champion. We all know that. That's a feat that no one really thought could happen. No one really thought, hey, someone can hold this belt twice. No one thought that in the locker room.
For sure.
But good for Mickey to actually go out and chase the, 2-time championship.
No
and
question
then with
about
Tito having a long reign like he has. Hey, no one thought that could happen either.
Well, you know what?
But
The
look at
good
what
news for
happened.
you, but the good news for you is that, Luke Draven now has the path toward Mickey Vargas, and that, potentially gives you that shot to maybe, if from your vantage point, as you say, you want to get through Smalls first, and what you do with that tongue and death grip, I would definitely say you have a very good shot at that. And I do want to say hello to our guest here that's in the chat, the Deathmatch Juggalo, Brian White, who'll be here in about 35 or 40 minutes. We're here first with the big dog Torrance Banks, and we're talking about his situation here at home. But let's talk about the championship I think you currently hold still, which you weren't announced in this past show. Yeah. So what's going on with that right now? Let's talk about that for a few minutes.
I don't know. I feel like they're in limbo right now because there's not really a lot of tag teams at House of Misfits. Besides Not Worth Saving, but I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like it should have been up to the landlord to get Falcone and I competition, and seems like he hasn't been really doing his job in a way.
Do you want to still be roommates champion?
I mean, for now, yeah, of course. I like teaming with Falcone. Why would I not?
I had you here last month, and everything seemed fine. You seemed confident. We had a back and forth. Obviously, Draven was here around that time, and
absolutely.
It seemed like to me that you guys have been a successful team.
Yeah, I feel like we have too. I feel like I don't know what day count it is, but I know JTA and Smalls held those tag titles for a while, and like I said, it's up to the landlord to get his competition, and he hasn't really gotten his competition. So it's like, what is the landlord doing? I feel like the landlord's more worried right now about the residence championship and the head of the household than the roommates. So
interesting.
I feel like what was the point of?
I don't even know if I should put this out there and saying it that way, but do you feel slighted?
Kind of. I feel, yeah. I kind of do feel slighted in a way because of the fact of you had me win these championships, like me and Falcone, we win these, right? Who we beat at the end? We beat Brooks and Hunter at the end.
Yep.
At Tag Team Turmoil, we've held them throughout the winter into now the spring, and it's like we haven't had competition. We were supposed to wrestle the Cleaners, we were supposed to, and then that match got canceled. So it's like we're basically we're in limbo right now with these medals, and it's like it's either find us competition or basically if you have to get rid of them for now. Find us competition. I want to tag with my partner Falcone. I want competition, and the landlord's not doing that. So yeah, I feel slighted. You're absolutely right, Tom. I feel slighted.
And, you've done a lot, and I know that that's, something that you don't say lightly. And I'm sure that we're going to find out more of that. But if you are here right now on Instagram, do me a favor. Go give a follow to Torrance Banks so you can keep up to date with him. He's got a lot going on here. We're going to talk about something else here where I think it's going to certainly get interesting here in a minute. But also, please support our friends over at House of Misfits Entertainment Backyard Wrestling. We're certainly moving up the ladder. We're inching closer to 500 subscribers. I know we're getting closer and closer. We've got some people here in the chat tonight. So very excited. We got the Deathmatch Juggalo back here in a little while. So it's a nice show here. Very excited. So please go out there, hit the sub button for Torrance Banks. Go out there and follow our friends at home. And I'm looking forward to talking a lot more about a company from my state and our state here in New York, the Empire State. But let's get to some people here in the chat. I want to talk to some people before I transition and make the hockey line change. But we won't talk about the Sabres here. We'll certainly talk about the rest of the people here in the chat. We're not going to do that. Chase Wakefield, the Bitcoin billionaire, who I don't think is a Bitcoin billionaire these days, considering if you follow the news, how tariffs
with his wedding invitational.
Yeah, he's here for that. He's got a few comments, but he does first of all say hello. And Sean Jovi is here tomorrow night. I know was taking.
Sean Jovi.
He was taking some notes on this. I'm happy about that. Zilla would like to say hello. My buddy Remy Roberts is also saying was good. I got to talk to Remy. I think. Show how you doing? And what's good? Let's see who else we got here. My buddy for Tuesday, she will be here Tuesday, Austin Edwards. How you doing, Austin? Hillbilly Billy definitely loved the intro, and he says keep doing the war chants. Sean Jovi did love it, but there you go. Chase Wakefield likes to say that he can't wait to meet you in the future. So is there something that we don't know or something we know or what?
I think you might want to talk to the Bitcoin billionaire on that one. But like I said, Chase, I can't wait to meet you either.
Well, I will say this. I don't think he's a Bitcoin billionaire right now because I think $6.4 trillion was wiped off the world's worth in the last 2 days because of a thing called tariffs. So I don't think Chase Wakefield is a billionaire. What 6.4 trillion? But they say it'll come back, but who the hell knows? Let's change topics though. Big Chungus, he likes the meme Big Chungus. Well, you took him down. You definitely took him down there. And Sean did like the meat. There you go.
Absolutely.
Pennsylvania has bipolar weather. Yeah, the weather. I was in
so does New York, Chase.
Dude,
so does New York.
It was 75 in Brooklyn on Thursday, and I'll be back in a coat on Monday. Who knows? Wisconsin doesn't even know what season it is yet. It sounds like join the club. There's a deathmatch juggalo. The lights got messed up because someone forgot to pay the utilities. Is that true? I don't think that's true. That's not true.
You never know.
Well, that's not true, but hit the sub button for them. Here you go.
Absolutely.
I got a good question from the Deathmatch Juggler. He actually got a good question here. Now, he'll be here in a little while. What's your goal for coming up on 10 years in the bit? What's your goal? I mean, I know I've asked you before what your goal is this year, but what is your goal for coming into the 10-year mark?
My goal basically, I mean, I want to get my name out there for sure. And I just want to show everybody that, hey, I can do this too. I can do this just as good as Shock. I can do it just as good as my brothers in the Unwanted. But I want to show everybody that, hey, don't look at me as a slouch. Because I'm not a slouch. I've been doing this. I've been in this business for the underground world for a very long time, and my goal is opportunity. I just want opportunity. Whether it's GTS, whether it's anywhere, really.
You definitely brought up that. But, I did want to bring something else up here before I go to Chase, because I was speaking to him the other day, and we were having a conversation, and I did want to get your perspective on this. Let me pull it up, and you tell me what you think here. I just have to find the right poster. There we go. I got it here right now. So I got it here right now, and I wanted to know what your thoughts were. Speaking of people getting opportunities, Shockey himself is getting quite an opportunity. You might want to say,
Brother Shockey.
An opportunity, definitely a knock there. So what do you think about here? X-Brand wrestling him in the one and only Hardcore. What do you think there?
My thing is, Shockey and I, we've known Hardcore for years. Over in WCW. Long time. I feel for Shockey, this is a very long time coming for him to finally show the entire world what King Shock is all about, putting Buffalo on the map like he always does.
Yep,
I'm proud. I'm 100% proud of him and what he's doing, taking this leap, taking this chance to do. He's never done a death match.
No,
I know this. The entire world knows this. Shockey's never done a death match, but what he said in his promo is he's willing to step out of his comfort zone to step in Hardcore's world.
Yeah, this is, I think he and I were speaking, and he's really wanting an opportunity. And I think that this is going to be something it's going to be a game changer from this. The personal history there. There's a lot that I think he's going through in his career. And this is something that I think is going to change the trajectory of his career. And it's a big moment. Hardcore was on my platform right before he wrestled Jimmy Controversy in Connecticut for Gabe Sayers. And Hardcore is a man that's been around. You guys know him very well. And
absolutely.
I'm excited to see what Shockey can do here. I think Shockey is going to really turn some heads here. For whatever reason, he is going to turn a lot of heads here. And, I know he hasn't been in a death match, but let's not forget, He was there against Jake.
Riot in the Ring won.
Riot in the Ring won. Look at what he did at Shocky's house party. Look at what he did in Connecticut. With what he did there. And everything else in between. So something tells me
against the 518.
Yeah, with Vargas.
Yeah.
Yep. And a lot of people, have opinions on, what was there. I'm going to leave that at that. But I'm excited for Shockey. And I got some more comments, actually. So let's get to some more. I got a bunch of them here.
Absolutely. I'm excited for him, too.
I can for sure say you will see some home representation in the Wedding Invitational. So,
absolutely. Chase Wakefield is absolutely right. You guys are going to see some House of Misfits representation. Chase, you have me. You follow me. Hit me up. Let's talk. And yeah, because I want to be there too. So hit me up.
Yeah,
let's talk.
Make it happen
for sure.
That's
absolutely.
What do you want to see more of in wrestling, and what do you want to see less of? That's an interesting question, actually. I never thought of asking a question.
That really is. Like, it really is interesting. I want to see more like not gimmick wrestling, but I mean, everybody likes the deathmatch style. Everybody likes the hardcore style. Everybody likes the style. Everybody loves the ultra violent. You know what I mean? Like the ultra violent style, like what John Moxley can bring, Nick Gage can bring, those guys. Yep. I'm not disrespecting those guys, but I feel like matches like those should be on like big pay-per-views to like end feuds.
You don't want to throw it away. You want to make it mean something.
Exactly. Like, I would love to see more of the storytelling, like what they're doing with Jey Uso right now. Like, I would love to see more of that. Because right now they're making Jey Uso seem more of like the underdog story.
Yep. Bringing Jimmy into it and, building.
Bleeding Jimmy out to Mania. And I feel like it's going to lead to my opinion, Jey possibly winning,
I think a lot of people would like to see him get that moment. He's had, certainly the movement that got him to win the Royal Rumble. And I think the fans are really behind him. And I think that overall, especially in independent wrestling, not so much in underground, but in independent wrestling, one of the things that I think lacks sometimes is storyline. And I know it's hard sometimes because you're not a YouTube product all the time. It's once a month, but I think that storylines are important in anywhere you go. So I think that's a really well said point. And
absolutely.
Since
I would
Mr.
love to see more.
God.
That's a dangerous world of deathmatch.
He's a deathmatch wrestler, so he knows. But go ahead, you continue. Yeah. You got the.
Oh, and to answer his other question, what I'd like to see more of, I'd like to see more people like coming together, like kind of like a faction. Like you see how Buffalo Wanted is. You see how we are, Tom. You see how like when we come together with a goal, and that's take over. Yep. I would love to see more faction wars in the world of wrestling, whether it's WWE, AEW, the underground circuit. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's a good point. Was here with Torrance Banks, the big dog, and I think that in our circuit, let's think about it from our circuit. I don't think we get a lot of that. I mean, I know you get groups and you get different things, but I don't think you get that continuous. Factions, let's say your NWOs, your Evolutions, your Generation X's, your Nations. You might get a group that's
Horsemen.
Horsemen, but you don't get that, okay, I'm going to have one, Unwanted versus DHC, or I'm going to get Unwanted versus the Foundation, or Unwanted versus the House of Wolves, or, Unwanted versus Natural Selection. You don't get a lot of that.
Like,
I don't know why that is, but you just don't.
I would love to see more of that. Like don't get me wrong. It's like I would love to see more. What you just said, like faction wars, like whether it's us versus DHC. Even though I have respect for DHC, like what you just like everything you just said, and like just bring me more of that. And what I want to see less of,
what
I really don't know. Like, I really don't know what I want to see less of. Like, less of the hey, let's bicker backstage and let's, try to like fight each other. Like, don't do that. If you got something to say and like handle it in the ring. Be professionals, handle it in the ring, and then be homies afterwards or not. It does not matter to me. What matters most is the product of the show that they have.
No question about that. And if you're on YouTube, do me a favor, go give Torrance a sub. And before I transition into the Riot in the Ring too, how is the Twitch going? How are things on Twitch going? How is things here?
The Yu-Gi-Oh! The Master Duel's going pretty good actually. Pretty good. I got to Platinum 4, so that counts.
Wow,
for something. Yeah, I've also been playing with a couple old friends actually with
nice.
Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing with Grayson Black and
I know Grayson,
brother of Joe Rob O'Malley. I've been playing with those guys.
Wow,
yeah.
That's really cool.
I didn't know they played Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel until they hit me up in the chat saying, "Hey, we play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel 2. Let's hang out and play Master Duel sometime." I'm like, bet. So I've been playing with.
There you go.
Nice, yeah. We've all been playing Master Duel. And I got to play Grayson Black a couple days ago and kind of beat him. So
Sean Jovi's here and said he used to play also. Yeah, Sean Jovi's.
It's fun. It's a fun game, Sean. Trust me. They have more support now for certain cards and stuff like that.
He says he'd play. He's here tomorrow night. I'll remind him. Yeah, I will say I did. When I right around the time I went to college. This has got to be about like 15. Yeah, about 15, maybe even closer to 20 years ago. I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! I would go. My friend and I, who I went to high school with, we would go in Brooklyn. They have Chinatown, which is on 8th Avenue. It's expanded a bit since. We would go and I would buy cards to my decks. We would sit, it was really an investment. We would sit there and play for like 2-3 hours. And I got into it for a while. My other friend, before he moved to Arizona, met a girl online, we would play and it was fun, but that's a long time ago. But definitely check it out on his YouTube channel and give him a sub. And, maybe you could join him on the decks. And, Brian's not familiar with it because Brian's been putting his body through bladders, chairs, thumbtacks, and barbed wire for the last 20 years. But has Blue Eyes gotten more support over the past year? He says he loves Blue Eyes.
Yes, Blue Eyes just got a support pack just released called Extreme Sparkle. Basically, it helps Blue Eyes, Tachyon Dragon, and also XYZ Union. The Union cards, like XYZ Dragon Cannon. But Blue Eyes has got some major support over the last couple of years. So
you know what? If I find, maybe I should. You know what? If Sean Jovi's here tomorrow, maybe I should find if I still have my deck, which I think I do. But we're talking like, I don't know. I haven't played in like maybe 15 years. Maybe if I find my deck,
I haven't played like IRL, but I've been playing more mobile game than
because I figured like I don't know who's even buying like the physical cards anymore. Like I don't even know who's
there's people that still duel. That's why they have the Yu-Gi-Oh! YCS series now.
Oh, okay.
Like
now I do remember about it was about 10, about 9 or actually about 10 years ago now. Here on Staten Island, there was actually a place that was open where people were actually going and they were dueling. It was like, unfortunately, I didn't have the time to get into it at the time, but I knew that there was like a few places open here and there. But, I always thought that was interesting. Maybe I will bring my deck. If I can find my deck by tomorrow night, maybe I'll bring it out on the air. We'll have a laugh or two on that. And for that, we'll get to Chase Wakefield. I ran a Sue Ship Tear deck, and Sean Joby liked hearing that. He also had a GOAT format Exodia Stall deck, IRL, and LOB Exodia PC. I don't remember those names. And he still has a physical
The Exodia pieces are like very, very like hard to come by when it comes to like Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise. Like
I just remember spending like it was expensive, to buy really good
because Exodia's been banned for like years, but now they re-released the ban list and Exodia's no longer on it. So
and Chase says he mostly plays Omega nowadays.
Makes sense. I also play Call of Duty as well. So
Okay, Call of Duty.
I
That
also
makes
play
a lot
Call
of
of Duty
sense.
Mobile as well. Yeah. So
Okay. Well, a lot of the minor league baseball players I used to interview, they always played Fortnite. So I don't know who was a Fortnite player here, but
I
everybody.
mean, Fortnite is a bonding experience with the team, with your team. So
Yeah,
it
and
really
these
is.
guys again, they got the signing bonus. Most of them that I interviewed, probably the signing bonus might have been like 150 grand, 200. They weren't like millionaires, and one or two of them got called up, but most of them, they were like stuck in some middle of nowhere town, and the only thing they could do was play Fortnite, and that's what they wound up doing. But also, it's easier than the Master Duel. I'm a Marvel Rivals player when I'm not busy doing the wedding wrestling at shows and editing videos. That's very good stuff. And again, if you want to check out more of this, I would highly recommend that. And we'll be joined by Brian White in about 20 or so minutes from now. But I want to talk a few more things with Torrance Banks and go and give him a sub. I appreciate everybody here tuning in. So we'll take this off the screen for now because I want to talk about something else here, which I am really curious your opinion on here because coming up, you are going to be wrestling in a big super show, which now it's actually right around the corner. It's not that far away. I remember a couple of months ago, we were talking about it on Sportswire. Now it felt so far away, but I was speaking with the guys in Iowa about it, and it was like it hit me. Well, it's actually not. It's not that far from now. It's the June 21st and 22nd, and you're going to be a part of it. You were one of the first matches announced, and I'm talking about obviously the Riot in the Ring 2, and you're up against two guys I know very well. One guy that's probably wrestled a lot more in the underground circuit more than the other. But you are going to be in the ring here against one Kyle Shelby and Jacob Collins, the gunslinger, the former ROW World Heavyweight Champion. And it is a triple threat match here. It was the second match or one of the first matches announced here on the card. And I was wondering what your thoughts here on another match that you're probably going to need some tape studying on because these are two guys you haven't been in a ring with. And just what's your overall opinions here coming up in the Riot in the Ring 2 as your opponents are now Kyle Shelby and the gunslinger, Jacob Collins.
I'm actually amped for this match. It's two guys. It is two guys I've never got to step into the ring with. So I'm excited. I'm ready to riot, man. Like, let's go. I've been excited to riot since I got announced for Riot 2. I was supposed to be in Riot 1, but
yeah, it would have made sense for you to be in Riot 1 because Shockey was there, Vargas was there,
Onyx was there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's time to riot. Tom, it is time for a riot. In the Ring 2, I am amped, but I'm telling you right now, Kyle Shelby and Mr. Gunslinger Jacob Collins, if you don't know who I am the big dog, Torrance Banks. I am 1/4 of one of the greatest factions in Buffalo's Unwanted, and trust me, gentlemen, I am ready to put on a show. I am ready to fight in this match because this is a big deal.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
Only for
very big
those
deal.
two, because the crazy part is those two are in the same promotion together, I believe. Correct?
Yeah,
Am I right or wrong,
so they're both ROEW guys. Kyle has been in some other places, but Jacob, his home base has been ROEW. He's wrestled in a few other places, IMF most notably. He's showed up there in the past. But these guys, both home base comes out of ROEW. Jacob was the ROEW World Heavyweight Champion. He's definitely been one of their top guys there. But it's two guys that I think bring. It's two guys that bring two different styles. Kyle is a bigger guy that's going to probably be, more in a style that you're a little bit more familiar with. And you got Jacob he's kind of an unknown almost. He's an unknown to you, and his style is very, he's more of a technical, more of a mat-based wrestler. But Kyle is more of the physical end. And, they're two guys from ROEW, but they don't really have a lot of familiarity together, but they're in this match together representing ROEW, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Jacob Collins is more like a Zack Sabre Jr. technical guy, and Kyle Shelby's more like me, like a hard hitting, like the hard hitting.
Yeah, Kyle is definitely more of a harder hitter. He's a bigger guy. Jacob is, more, think of like Shockey, but maybe less, athletic, but still can hold his own technical.
Still a tech wizard almost in a way.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that's come a long way. He's been, he's not as experienced as you. Kyle has been around maybe as long as you, but he's making a comeback into the circuit. So you have two guys here that have more or less, I think, different styles, but they may give you two different sides of what you can bring to the table.
Hey, man, and I'm cool with that. It's basically a match like this is about the word adaptability.
Yeah, I think that this is a very unique match. Yep.
Exactly. You have to adapt to your opponent's style. So if I got to throw a hard hit in there to Kyle or throw a submission hold on Collins, then it's like, hey, I'm going to have to do that.
I think Collins, you'll have more on the tape to look at than Shelby because Shelby's re-entering the scene. That's not to knock Shelby.
Oh.
So he's re-entering here. Collins, there's a lot of footage on Collins because Collins has been a traveler. Collins has been here on the platform quite a bit, and he won their World Heavyweight Championship, for a minute, literally like a few minutes. So I think it's a really intriguing match. I think that they're all intriguing matches, but this is one of those matches that could go a long way. And, I think, maybe solidifying, especially the way you were when we just watched at home, they might be the ones really that have the problems, not you, because what I saw tonight from you with that tongue and death grip and that attitude that you brought to the table. I mean, Shelby and Collins
have a problem.
Exactly.
They may have, like you said, they got their work cut out. They got their work cut out for them against me. I mean,
and remember, they're in an environment. They haven't been in. You've been in NEW before. You've been in this company. You know the settings. You're going to know a lot of guys in that locker room. And
absolutely,
they're the ones that really are going to be at a disadvantage. I mean, that's the way I kind of think about it at the moment.
I mean, not only am I happy to see everybody from NEW, and I'm happy to see my friends from home, but I'm happy to see the new people that are coming in too. Like, for example,
a lot of new people. We got a lot of different names. Jason Storm, the ROEW champion's coming. A lot of guys from the IMF are going to be there. Justin Parsley, Soldier GP, Il Drago was announced.
Wait, you said the ROEW World Champion's coming?
The ROEW World Heavyweight Champion, the Puppet Master, Jason Storm, which I want to remind people, and yourself included, he's actually here next Saturday night. He will be here in your chair, same time, same bat channel.
Interesting. Is he going to be bringing his friends with him?
He is going to be bringing his friends. As a matter of fact, he is going to be bringing his friends, Natural Selection, including Cash Carter, who's also going to be in the Riot in the Ring. So as a matter of fact,
really?
Yeah, they're gonna all be here. They're gonna be here. Yep, absolutely. And there he is.
Like I was saying to you before, faction war. I've been saying this. It needs to happen. I need to see a faction war somehow Riot in the Ring. But there's a lot of good matches at the Riot in the Ring, Tom, that are like insane.
Oh my goodness! I mean, how about Tyson Spade and Soldier GP? I mean, how about that match?
Shockey versus Joestar.
Oh my goodness! And they have history. And by the way, I got to announce it. Joestar is back on Sportswire Friday night. At his last appearance, I mean, that was pretty memorable.
I'm gonna have. Hey, you said Joestar's out here. Well, I'm gonna have to come by and probably say hello. Get my little payback for interrupting my stream.
Torrance, that's a great idea. You should absolutely come by and say hello to Joestar because Joestar's appearance is going to be, I'm sure, highly anticipated, especially after his last appearance where he had a list that was longer than, let's just say, somebody's Christmas wish list here.
Or longer than Chris Jericho's moveset list.
We did talk about that. It was certainly a meme. Jake certainly used it as a meme, and Bren did it as well. And but Joestar's back. He's Joestar Friday.
My main thing is this with Joestar. It's like, Joestar, I gotta say, bro, thank you for putting me on your list about people you want to wrestle. Like, I'm touched. I'm really touched. Hopefully,
you should
if
definitely
you are
stop
watching
by.
this,
I would love to see you here Friday. You should definitely come and say hello to Joestar, because I think a lot of people are going to tune in Friday night because, like I said, after his last appearance on here, and
with that
especially, by the
list,
way, after, he retired the Surge in NEW. I mean,
oh, I saw
he,
that.
he retired him.
I saw that match. I saw that
Yeah.
match, and I was stunned. My hands were like this on my head, like I'm stunned. And the funny
Everybody
fact is,
thought, and Joe, I spoke to Joe yesterday about it, and Joe said he's got a lot to say about that. And I know a lot of people were like, especially after the way he was here on Sportswire, kind of doubting Joe. But Joe's going to talk about that. And yeah, you should definitely stop by Friday night.
And like I said, I feel bad because, like I said about hardcore, I've known Power Surge for years.
Yeah.
I've known him for years when he used to come to Grand Island and used to wrestle with us over Grand Island. And now I've known him, and that's crazy though. Joestar beat Power Surge.
I know. A lot of people were like really
stunned.
Looking back, yeah.
But yeah, dude, like
Joe's a made man now. Joe is, a made man. I mean, he's
gotta be. He's gotta be. He just took down one of the biggest names in AEW.
One of the biggest.
He has to be.
Dude, he took down one of the biggest, figuratively and literally, biggest names in underground history. I mean, I say,
absolutely.
Surge physically he's as imposing as WWE guys, and he beat him. He beat him in the ring.
Yeah, clean too. 1, 2, 3. Like, my goodness.
Shook hands, and there was a sign of respect. At least it wasn't like Savage and Justin. I'm not gonna get your opinion. I ain't getting your.
Don't get me started. Don't get me. Do not get me started on that one, because that was dirty.
Well,
that was messed up.
Look, did Savage? Did he deserve that, especially after what he said about Justin and his?
Yeah. He deserved. What he said about Justin. Yeah, he deserved it, but he didn't deserve it in the way that they did it. Like Abel Sane is working with Dvorak and Reyes Silver.
But
those three alone, oof.
I tell you, and Dvorak and Sane have not been on the same page for a long time, and
I want to know how they're going to get along.
We're going to have to find out. Season 7 is on the horizon. Let's get to some more comments. I wish I could make it to this show, but unfortunately, I'm booked in North Carolina. Mr. who's going to be here in a few minutes said he's in South Carolina. They're not too far from each other.
Nice.
He gave a subscription to you. Thank you very much for that.
Hey, thanks, Brian.
1/3 of the people in your match is here, and he said he'll whoop your ass. He also wanted to say that he's going to get the W, and everyone's there to see him.
Okay, my question to Kyle Shelby is, what belt is that? What belt is that you're carrying? Because I've never seen it before.
It's the UCA championship. He's been champion for about a decade with that title. A decade.
You know what I'm going to do with that championship, Tom?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to I can do one of two things. I can either wrap that belt around his skull at Ryan in the ring, or I can shine it nice and stick it up his ass. Either way it goes, he's going to get hit with that belt, regardless. Kyle, like I said, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Huh?
Should he bring that belt with him then to Worcester?
If he wants to, my thing is this: if he's gonna bring that belt and he's been champion for a decade, he should defend it. He should put it on the line against me and Jacob Collins. I'm just saying, it'd be fair. You want to say you're a champion of the decade, like you should put it on the line against me and Jake Collins.
That's up. I guess that's up to him and the people putting together the match. I wouldn't be able.
Don't play with me, bro. You should. I'm not the smoke you want, Kyle. I am not the smoke you want. Did you not see what I did to Chungus? I am not the smoke you want, young sir.
Put that back up on the screen. I mean, we could remind people.
Kyle, so that can be embedded in his brain when you don't mess with me.
Well, let me do that. Let me do that.
Kyle. You foolish person. You said it's the greatest promo. So that's a promo championship, not an actual.
Well, no, it's a championship. No, it is a championship. He's held the title. He's defended it in Michigan, and he's obviously held the title. He's definitely held it.
Wait! I know who he is. I've seen him before. Isn't he the guy that got dissed on by one of the Wicked Clowns in Violet J? I mean, I saw it on one of the YouTubes for him for his appearance.
I want to, let's just say, show the tongue and death grip again before we obviously
please
move
do.
On. Yeah,
please do painful. Because Kyle, that is what you're going up against at Riot in the Ring 2. Are you sure you want that to happen? Because it's as simple as that. That could happen. And you see that face. That could happen. That could be your absolute fate. What'd you say it was, Tom? June 21st or 22nd? June 21st and 22nd, you said?
It's a 2-day event. It's a 2-day event there. And you're in it, obviously, in the first day. And you're against Kyle Shelby, who's obviously here, the UCA champion, the reigning defending UCA champion, the very successful UCA champion. And what you did with this new move, I mean, it's definitely,
dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get caught in it.
No. You, Tom, you won't get caught in it. The thing is this, Kyle Shelby, he makes me mad like he is going to. But
I mean,
we shall see what happens.
I guess we'll see, but I mean, certainly, you're a veteran. You've been around in this sport a long time, and you've traveled, and you're going to certainly show exactly to the world why I suppose the guys from Michigan may not want that smoke, and why you've been unwanted, and why a guy like, I guess, again, Kyle Shelby may want to reevaluate some of what he's saying. I mean, I think it's going to be a great match regardless. I am excited to see it, and I really, I think a lot of people are eagerly anticipating Kyle Shelby, in this, and what he brings to the. He's been working very hard. He's been improving. But what you did with this tongue and death grip to Big Chungus, I mean, a lot of people could be seeing you doing that to one of your opponents in that match.
Yeah, but like you said though, I'm excited for this because this is one of the biggest. This is going to be one of the biggest super cards ever. They're going to be talking about this card for a long time, and it's like, how many people did he say on it? It was like 40 people.
I agree.
He said 40 people are on this show.
40, yeah, it's 40. Yeah.
40.
Yeah,
40 of some of the absolute best wrestlers, underground, wherever. Hell, we got people coming from freaking GTS in Mage.
Yeah, and you know what? You got people traveling from all over the place, and we are going to get to the Deathmatch Juggalo in a few minutes. But if you, I know Kyle is definitely going back and forth, and we appreciate that very much. But I did want to give a plug to our friends at home because I see people coming in and out. We want to say hello to James Taylor, of course, the ROEW owner, who's here to back up Kyle Shelby, who's definitely here to back up his talent.
I would like to meet Taylor. I would like to talk to him.
I think that you should. I think you should have a place in ROEW. As I know that Shock has been wanting to come to ROEW and bring the unwanted to ROEW, and James Taylor, he needs to sign you guys. But before we sign off, apparently I have received word that there is somebody that wants to say hello to you.
Who would want to say hello to me?
Well, apparently I've received word, but only if you insist. Could I bring this person?
I mean, they can come by and say hello. I mean, I got no problem with that.
Well, I'm going to do it now because for those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform. Wait a minute.
What's going on?
Hey.
That's the guy
What's going on?
Serge. That's the guy that's here Friday night.
Good brother. Good brother Joe Star. How we doing?
I'm doing good.
As Mr. Bryce called you, the Puerto Rican Dusty Rhodes, baby. How are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Just a little bottle of this, and I'm all good.
Hey, first things first, congratulations. I didn't get a chance to message you after, but congratulations on the match with Power Surge, retiring the Power Surge, the legend of Power Surge. Congratulations on that.
Somebody's. Oh wait,
What?
wait a
Fuck
minute.
this
No, no, this
motherfucker.
can't
What
happen.
is going? What's
This
going
show-
on?
Somebody here is not in character. No, we Joe, where you going? You gotta go, Joe. Joe,
But
Joe,
like I
put a
said,
mask over you. In New York, you can still
everybody,
wear a mask. Put a mask on.
it is good to see all of you. Like, it is great
What's
to see all
going
of you
on?
guys.
What's up, pussy?
Jesus.
Damn.
Joe, Joe,
Love you, Cohen.
Joe, where's the list? By the way, where's the list?
The list is gone.
What
How
do you
many
mean?
you
Did
have
you?
now?
What do you mean it's gone?
No,
Don't
What
worry,
do you
I'll
mean it's
explain it
gone?
next time when I be a part of the sports interview.
you're here Friday night
Dude,
at 8:30.
You could have. I was gonna say, what do you mean the list is gone? You could have easily checked Shock's name off because you're facing right in the ring, dude.
Well, you'll get the
Is it
explanation on Friday night.
Joe, you know
He
what?
burned.
Well,
Who
wait a
cares
minute.
about Joe?
Oh,
Nothing
Okay.
changes on Sportswire. Joe
Here we
Stars.
go.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Joe Star either. You know what, Joe Star? He's dumb. He's an idiot. He's a
Looks like
loser.
Jay.
It was
He's a
when I was
mark.
young in the bed. My mother sang in the bed. It was deaf, dumb, and blind. Is that what Joe said? Wait a minute. That's the one half of the tag team
Whoa.
champions. Right.
Yo,
It's
I got-
definitely not going to do it here.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
Hey,
all
Let's
they're
talk
doing.
there.
Yeah.
They're definitely listen.
What's up?
This is live. No, this isn't pre-recorded. What
You know,
are we
I-
doing here?
Now you got the full.
You know, I
package.
also have a list. I have 3 lists to beat Joe. List of people I want to hump, people I need a hump, and what was the third one?
You
Why is
do
it
know
the
that
thing?
you have the longer
People
intro,
like Will Giving.
right?
I don't know why this is a thing.
So
yo, one like it,
I
I
don't
will
know how
chalk
this
Joe right
happened.
now.
Joe Star's fault.
Oh, shit.
I give it a like. Go give
We got one like. We got one like.
We got one like. Chop.
Chop.
Chop him for the like.
Oh my God, poor Joe.
Where's that in the matchup?
He's dead.
Joe is, down goes Joe, and Tyson Spade takes over once
I don't know.
again. Why am I
Joe's
not
down.
surprised?
I don't know why they call him the Puerto Rican Dream when I'm the true Puerto Rican Dream. I represent Puerto Rico more than them. I don't care. I'm not.
Well, you pinned him last I checked the last time you saw him in the ring, so if that counts. I mean, yeah, all right. I'll give you
I represent his country better than he ever has. It's
Oh,
just
boy.
a fact.
that. Well, I think we're going to let you guys go enjoy the rest of the evening. Go enjoy the rest of the evening because I need to get to my next guest. And
Just
we'll see.
one final thing.
Yes.
Joe Star sucks.
Yeah, that was
How-
interesting. Yes.
Very. Like, how did that?
Let's pretend that that didn't happen.
Do we need to fire the tech guy? Because apparently, somehow, Joe
I'm the
Star got
tech
a.
guy. I'm the tech
I mean,
guy.
because somehow we're not gonna worry about that. But how? That was weird.
Listen,
That
that's
was
like
weird.
that's a Saved by the Bell episode where Zach goes timeout. We're gonna just not show that on Instagram. We're not gonna put that as a
That
clip.
was-
We're gonna pretend that that never happened. It never happened.
That was one of those timeout moments. Like,
we're not gonna
character
go.
broken, fourth wall. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we just got invaded by the whole AEW roster for some
Well, they've
reason.
done that before, but let's just say that was definitely bumpy. Let's just put it that way. That was definitely bumpy there. But Joe will be here Friday night, and you're
You think
welcome
that-
to return the favor.
I was gonna say, you think they were watching the whole time? Probably watching the show the whole time, thinking,
No, because I only got a message like 2 minutes ago before he came
Oh.
on. He's like, nope, it wasn't even like, it was just, hey, let me get the link. And I was like, oh, okay. Well,
Let
maybe you
me-
have the list
let
in
me-
hand. And,
let me bother,
you know.
let me bother Torrance again real quick and see what happens.
But
See if he
don't
breaks
you worry,
character and
because
stuff.
Friday night you'll get to return the favor. So don't you worry.
Absolutely. I'm getting my revenge on Joe Star, damn it.
Well,
My
all
re-
right. Well,
my
let's get to
revenge is
closing
coming.
thoughts. So what's your closing thoughts here in a rather entertaining show today? Before I get to the deathmatch juggalo here in a minute, what's your
My
what's your
thoughts,
final word?
my thoughts are this. I feel like opportunity is knocking for me, wise. Like, especially with Chase Wakefield saying there's going to be some home representation at his wedding. Absolutely. Like, Chase, if you're watching this, you have me on Instagram. You can easily message me. There's my Instagram right there. You can message me whatever, and we can talk about that. But yeah, opportunities knocking, and things are being set in motion for sure. Like things
The
are being
wheels
set in
definitely
motion.
setting in motion. Yeah, I mean, tonight the wheels definitely started to go round and round. It started
And then
slow, but it got interesting the last 20 minutes because you had you
things
talked
went
about the
round and
ride in the
round
ring.
and then fell off the wheels. It went round and
Yeah,
round
I
and then
mean,
fell off
Joe
the
Starr
rails when
showed up
AEW
here,
was here.
and I saw other people that I didn't think Joe Starr got along with, but apparently he does. And then,
Apparently they're friends.
I didn't think they were, but apparently they are. I guess
I
who
didn't
knows?
think I didn't think him and Shima were friends.
Me
Or
either.
him and Kuma were friends. Or
Yeah,
him
because
and
he's
he
always
was friends
talking
with the
about them here on
DHC.
Sportswire. Yeah, listen, you know what? Especially after his last appearance here on Sportswire, I didn't think he was friends with mostly anybody in AEW.
Or Tyson Spade for that matter. And
No,
then
but
put
Tyson
Fierce
Spade
Tyson
he's not
Spade.
friends with
Like,
because he's not. No. Tyson Spade interrupted and hijacked him. No, Tyson Spade and him, it's still the same. But the rest of that locker room, listen, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
so for those two, it's still on site then.
Yeah, I
It's
think
still
that
on
those
site.
guys were just on site. I think Spade and him just aren't friends. But I'll tell you this much here: you definitely want to follow Torrance Banks, and definitely check out our friends at home. And before I let you go, I'll actually let you say hello to the Deathmatch Juggalo who's joined us here, and he's here, the legendary Brian White. We're going to talk about him and a lot of different stuff he's been up to, IWA, and what other stuff come up in the future. And as one guest leaves, another one enters, and I can't wait. And I'm going to see you here Friday night, Torrance Banks. Now that you basically announced it, so
Absolutely. I'll be here. Joe Star
and
better
maybe
watch out.
next month. How about next month? How about same time, same bat channel, same first Saturday of May? How's that?
That
sound?
works. That absolutely works.
What's a deal? It's a deal. And
All right.
there you have it. And how you guys doing?
Doing good, man. It's Saturday night. I'm chilling.
Well, that's good.
Absolutely.
And, Mr. Banks, it's good to see you. I'll see you Friday night. Looking forward to seeing
right.
what happens at home. And
Good to
this
see
was
you.
a rather fun show. And we're going to continue it now with the Deathmatch Juggalo Brian White. So thank you, Torrance. And I'll see you Friday night.
Gentlemen, have a good evening.
You got it.
Salute.
That was the big dog Torrance Banks. And now I am joined by the man that is truly one of the all-time OGs in the deathmatch wrestling world. A man that has done it all. He's defeated my friend and maybe not your friend, Jimmy freaking Controversy. You've seen him in IWA. He has definitely been a part everywhere and everywhere. He is a man that is an inspiration to many, and he also has Mountain Dew like yours, truly. But it is now time to give him that introduction in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage of the platform that he most certainly helped build here, Sportswire Radio. And I'll have a big surprise for him to end the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble and give our guest that introduction here in prime time.
I've been waiting for this all weekend.
You're getting it, ladies and gentlemen. To quote Joe Elliott of Def Leppard, let's get rocked right now. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, global sports show, a man that they simply call the Deathmatch Juggalo.
Whoop, whoop. Now that's an introduction.
My friend, how are we doing?
Man, just living life, man. Being fat and fabulous.
Well, nevertheless, we do say hello, and it's been a while, man. It's been
a
almost
long
9 months. I
time.
can't believe it's been almost 9 months since you came back to Sportswire. I mean, Cato's been here like 17 times. Jimmy Controversy, the man you defeated, has been here a couple times since then. I've had Rhino, I've had Savio Vega, I've had guys in the heavy metal world, but you haven't been here almost 9 months. So how the hell are you?
Man, again, fat and fabulous. Working all the time.
Yeah, I know
Working
that.
on
I've seen
booking.
you. Yeah, you were sweating a few times on Facebook. I did see it.
Like 73-hour weeks, but it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the last 5 weeks, I could definitely attest to them. My last 5 weeks have been get up, deliver newspapers, take a nap, go back out and work again, come back on the Sports Wire. Yeah, but up until the last 2 days, yeah, I would say I had close about that 73 hours.
Yeah.
But it's what it is. But we're back here, and certainly, the money's money. But I don't want to look at my mutual fund right now due to tax. We'll leave that at that. I think it'll sort itself out eventually. But you know what? You have a lot going on here coming up. I'm going to play your last match here that I have most recent. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But
Okay.
you know what? A lot to talk about here, and a lot of current stuff coming up. And big year for you here ahead in 2025.
I feel good about this year. I thought that 2 years ago was a big breakout year for me finally, but I feel like this year has really got some opportunities arising for me. Some big things in the works. I've been talking with numerous promotions. A lot of big plans for me, but we're going to just see how it plays out. I've got a lot of guarantees. And then, but it's the wrestling world. Cards subject to change.
Yeah, cards subject to change. It's funny you said that though, and because I had Cato here a week and a half ago, and Cato. Yeah, I know Cato is amazing. I love Cato, but it's kind of similar in a way with you because Cato all of a sudden has gotten this like rejuvenation, this second life here, second wind in his career. And, WrestleMania he's a part of. We already got him in for Carnage Cup. And it's kind of like almost the same I see with Cato, where he's all of a sudden, okay, maybe he takes some time off, but he's got like really big shows ahead. And I kind of see some of the parallels between you and Cato here these last year or two. You get one door open and all of a sudden it leads to, some other avenues. And do you feel kind of the same way that your career, it's about to get, some more opportunities that maybe, 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe you wouldn't have got?
I definitely feel that way. And let me say that about Cato. I remember when Cato called me, I was at work and he called me and he was just wanting to know some information about Deep South and stuff like that. And when he was announced for Cup, like he was just so humble about it. Like you will never meet a more genuinely humble and nice person than when you meet Cato.
Cato is like the definition. I know he's Cato's the controversial one, but if you get a chance, and I know I'm going to really break the fourth wall, and I hate doing that, but Cato's one of those guys that he is like super chill. He doesn't want any drama.
He doesn't bring any drama.
No, he doesn't want. He's like, listen, I don't. He just wants to go out there and kick ass.
He goes out there, he performs, gives the fans a solid match from start to finish, and leaves. I mean, show up, fuck shit up, and leave. Pardon my French. Sorry about that.
That's all good. That's all good. But obviously, that'll certainly sort itself out. But obviously, I do have some other things that I want to play from you. But
let me answer your question. I didn't answer your question either.
Okay.
I do feel like that happens, but this is one of them defining moments in my career. 15 years of doing this, your body hurts, you get tired, you bump cars starting to run low, and you want to make the best of every booking you get. You want to make it the best you can and make it worth it. And personally, I feel like if I don't make it this year, if I don't meet the goals I set for myself, I'm okay with that. I've had a great career. I've had a fun career. I've had blessings upon blessings upon blessings upon blessings, and I've been so lucky and fortunate to learn from some of the best in the business and seen so many great things and made so many great fans over the years.
Hey, listen, you never know though, and I'm going to put your most recent matchup here. I have it synced up here in a minute. I just had on a guy, Michael McMoney, who his mentor was Necro Butcher, and Necro is 51 and still going. So
I love that.
Yeah, I know, but I know you know him very well, with Carnage Cup and everything else in Deep South, but he's still going out there. Madman Pondo is still going.
He's going to Scotland
for a little while ago.
He's headed to Scotland actually for Bleeding Gums Wrestling over there.
Yeah, and I think was it Cato? I know wants to go down there. Do you want to go overseas as well? Because Cato and I were speaking about this off the air. Is that something that you see yourself doing as well?
Well, number one, it's a very expensive booking.
I know. I just spoke to a guy, one of
Um,
my friends. I won't tip my hand. One of my buddies just told me he's wrestling in Scotland in like October, and it was like, I know what it's gonna cost. So
Yeah.
he was telling me it's it's not easy.
It's not. You have to have a passport. You have to have a UK permission. I don't know. It's like a work visa or something, but you have to be approved for that to go over there. There's a lot that goes into it. You know, and that's where I tell guys that I train, you have to invest in yourself. You're gonna have to make some sacrifices. I mean, you know, going from show to show, sometimes you just might make enough to make gas money, but you know what I mean? It's sacrifices you make to get to where you want to be. It's not out of the question, but it's gonna be a long process, which I have began to look into and starting to work on. I'm crossing T's and dotting I's before I make that final call, but overseas is definitely, it should be any worker's ambition to try to do that. You can learn so much, even in the United States, even there. I mean, I learned different styles from when I wrestled here in South Carolina and when I wrestled.
We
in
spoke about
Arkansas.
that the first time you were here. You know, we spoke a lot about that. I had Jesse Daniels on right after you, and he wrestled Mickey Knuckles in POR. And we were talking about that. You know, people think, oh, deathmatch wrestlers, they just know deathmatch. No, and Jesse was talking about like he knows, like he's been he's technically trained, and you know, I know Jimmy's Jimmy, but Jimmy talks about his ring ability. So I think it's just a misnomer that deathmatch wrestlers only
and that's
know.
where I disagree with your last guest. I disagree with
Okay.
what he said about
All right, tell me
wrestling.
what you disagreed with.
I disagree with what he said about we before you become a deathmatch wrestler, you need to be traditionally trained. You need to know psychology. You need to be able to tell a fucking story.
Yep.
So to say that deathmatch wrestlers are just going out there doing a deathmatch to be doing it, we're telling a story with it. If you watch mine and Jimmy's match from Southern Outlaws, we told a beautiful, violent story, which is what my goal is in any deathmatch I do, is to tell the most violent, beautiful story you've ever seen in your life. And I feel like, I learned that really working with John Rare too, working with him.
Yeah, we spoke about John. I think about that all the time when I think of you. And
he
I
just
did
had a
have
baby, by the way, John. If you're watching, congratulations on your baby boy Elijah. I'll be down to see you soon, brother.
Well, I do have speaking of deathmatch wrestlers who are here, I do have one man that's tuned in. Mr. Omen Black will certainly say hello to him, and we'll see if he wants to say hello. But I got you here from January, SCA.
This is Square Circle Action. Well, now it's I think it's something
ACS?
else. I'm not sure what they call it now. There's something different. But this was my debut. Was in the historic Royston Dome in Royston, Georgia.
Yes, I can see that.
Pardon the camera, guys. And what was the guy's name I worked that night? I don't want to say it wrong. I think it was JP. I'm not sure.
Well, we're gonna see it now. I mean, I could just.
The TV version is better. This was a TV taping, but this is from the fan cam, so it's kind of hard to really understand what's going on. The previous match that I sent you, or the next match I sent you in there, would probably be the best one. Because
we'll watch that as well. I wanted to go put the 2 matches on, but
that'll lead to another thing we'll discuss later. This right here, he's a young and up and coming star. I know that. My goal that night was to go over there and just get him over and give the fans something. Well, I tried too hard being comedy, I think, in this match. As you'll see, I kept.
Why did you? So why would before we why would you feel like you tried too hard?
You can tell, right here with the whole thing of it.
This is not you. This is not the Brian White I've watched.
This is not the Brian White. Exactly. This is not. This was more nerves, because it was just in a historic venue, and then it was a TV taping as well. So I was just.
But you've been around a long time. You mean to tell me you still get nervous?
If you don't get nervous, why are you going out there?
But you're Brian White, the deathmatch juggalo.
That if you don't get nervous about it, why are you going out there? If you don't get butterflies no more, what's the point going through that curtain?
Yeah, people say that. People. Yeah, I hear that. I mean,
I put on my best matches when I'm scared out of my wits. I ain't gonna lie. Look at Carnage Cup 13. I was scared out of my wits in that match. I faced John Rare and Lil Sicko, two of the
Okay.
biggest deathmatch stars in the world.
I agree, but I would
and-
think with you have a lot of life experience too. I would just feel like that.
Well, it's different. In life is uncontrolled chaos, and here is controlled chaos. But
Yeah, this is like, I mean, I see the psychology. I see you working a different style, but like this is like not the deathmatch juggalo I'm getting.
no, this is not. This is more of my what I like to say, the Carolina outlaw. I'm just an outlaw around here because a lot of people immediately see my moniker of the deathmatch juggalo. They think deathmatch, oh shit, he can't work. All he knows how to do is get gimmicks and smack each other.
That's what Jesse said on here after I had him on. He's like, they say that we can't wrestle,
but we can.
I know that. Oh, listen,
Look, that's a headlock takeover I just did. A simple move like that, you know what I mean? I mean, it's it's just little bitty things that you can
listen, it's like, listen, all right, in baseball, people complain about hitters that all they do is hit home runs, but they learned how to hit a baseball. It's like you're a wrestler, right? You went to learn and you train, like Omen's here. Omen and James, they're wrestlers. They might, if they're called a certain style, but they still learned how to fall. They learned how to, properly execute a move. And it's no different with you, whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Jesse, whether it's Cato, whether it's, Obey who comes on, whoever else, Mikey Anarchy, it's the same thing. You learned, you're just labeled something. It's like in baseball, you have relievers, starting pitchers, people just label things, but at the end of the day, your learning came from like everybody else did.
I mean, I was trained by guys like TJ Boss, which many might not know him, but he was from around here in the Carolinas. TJ Boss, Manny Fernandez, Charlie Cole,
I know Manny Fernandez a lot. I think a lot of people are gonna know him. Yeah.
Chief J Eagle, Timmy Anton, Nick Fury. I've been blessed to be trained to pick the brains of some of the best in the business ever. I mean, I'm truly blessed, and I learned a lot from them. I know what I'm doing when I get in there. It's it really depends on my dance partner, and people say,
but this is just a different match. So, like, what do you take away from this match?
Really, I need to lighten up on my comedy. I've been trying to go a different route as a baby. I'm not used to being a baby.
No,
predominantly a heel, or we're really in deathmatch. I'm a neutral. I'm in between. You either hate me or you like me. One or the other.
Yeah, you're kind of
here. I was baby, and it's just I haven't been baby since the early days of my career when I first started in the business. So like, it's been hard to slap hands and whatever and take pictures and sign autographs because I'm not used to that as a heel. I'm just not used to it at all. Just saying.
So is that not an important lesson for those here, but is that something that maybe you should do more of, or just go to what work? Because I'm always of the philosophy in anything.
I do what the promoter tells me to do. I do what the promoter tells me to do.
All right, fair enough. I knew I walked into that one. I knew I was getting that.
I mean, hey, this talks and the rest is going to walk. Money talks, the rest is going to walk at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what my dad would go, money talks, BS walks. Pretty much in that voice, he tell me money talks, BS walks. But I go, no, and and he would always say, you'd be good at politics, and then I went into politics, and then there you go. But different show for a different time. But what is your opponent here? You're obviously doing something here to help him as well, and. What was he like to work with?
He needs the help, but that should be any veteran's goal at this point in my career. That should be my goal. If I'm really thinking about maybe possibly hanging it up one day, well, then I need to pass what I've learned down to the next generation and help get them over, because it's not about me no more. It's not about me. It's about them. I want to help them enjoy the experience and help them learn something along the way. That sounds a little
No. I've heard the topic as we hear at the Deathmatch Juggler, Brian White. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters here. And we're going to plug his YouTube channel here in a minute. Plus, I'll have in a little while something for the Deathmatch Juggler. So we'll give him that in a little while. But in the meantime, we're watching some of his most recent matches. You'll certainly see him quite a bit here coming up in 2025. And it has been nearly 9 months since he's been here. And where does the time go? But we're making up for it here on Sportzwire Radio. It looks like he hit you with some form of an RKO.
This is Now this is what I love about the kid. He's
got a good look though. I mean, he's got a good look. He's in good shape. He's got charisma.
Performer, my guy. He is solid. I don't have no problem with this guy. And
that was pretty sweet. That was basically
that was sweet. I mean, and like I say, the kid he's got so much talent, and he ain't even shown everything he can do yet. I know. I see great things with him. So that's how that ended. I didn't end on a good note for me on that one.
Yeah, I really, you know what my philosophy, this is going back to when I covered sports, college sports. I don't like to cover matches when the wrestler loses, but you gave me that once. But,
well, the other one I sent you would be the best one, actually.
I got that. No, that one I got. I got that. I checked that out before I went on the air.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, if you want to follow more of the Deathmatch show,
yes, please subscribe. I'm trying to upload content daily.
Yes. We're going to get him back here more often. And Omen says hello. James Taylor says hello. Zilla says hello. So, thank you. Okay.
And to anybody in here that thinks that they should be ashamed to be a backyarder, if they do, not that they do, I'm just saying, but if you do, remember, I was.
No, they don't. They're not. Trust me. They're not ashamed here.
I'm just letting you know. I started in the backyard for BCW.
I know. I showed your stuff in the backyard.
So
I showed it.
People need to realize you got to start somewhere.
Oh, listen. You know what? I always tell people that I started. This is how back I go. I started doing this on Skype. I mean, I was on a sound mixer and doing this on on a Skype call with my buddy, and it was like, hey. Because I didn't have a background in this. I had a background in politics. And it was like, hey, let's do an hour. Okay. I was so nervous and my hands were sweaty. And, we're 59 minutes and 30 seconds. You're like, okay, we're done. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be doing this, 6-7 years later. But enough about that. Let's go to the match that I think you want people to really talk about. Which
I really do want to talk about this one.
And I want to talk about it, too, because you're in the ring with Jack Salem and the dynamic Dexter, and let's talk about it.
Well, let me give you a backstory before this match even started. Emotions were high for me as it was.
Yeah, I knew that.
My brother had passed away from his depression the 2 days before this, and I was going through a really hard time, and the only thing I knew that would help me get through it was to go and escape it for just a little bit. And that's what I tell people. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I tell people that wrestling is my escape. It's my therapy. And for the time that I was in this match, I wasn't Brian Cummings. I wasn't thinking about my brother's death. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about, having a good time and performing for them fans. And
it's a big crowd here, by the way. You had a big crowd here.
This is at SWA in East Enola, Georgia. They are a Southern Wrestling Association, solid crowd every show. I've been there. Never been a bad crowd. They're hot. They know wrestling. They appreciate good wrestling. Great promotion. Jackie Owens runs it. Him and Scott Green. Great promotion. I recommend any worker, if you get a chance to go through there, do it. Definitely. No, that's not Bray Wyatt, y'all. That's somebody dressed up as him.
Yeah, I think they knew that. But, I mean, like, you're going out there. A lot happens in the family. But was there thought to say, you know what? I can't do this. I can't go out there.
I questioned that about, I ain't going to lie, when my music hit, I was like, what the hell am I doing? This isn't healthy. I was thinking so many thoughts went through my head when that music came on, just like, this is not healthy. You're not dealing with this the right way. What are you doing? But I was like, no, I'm not going to be like that about this. This is, I don't know. I felt like he would have wanted me to do it. I feel like he would have. Again, people deal with death. What's up, my brother Cato? People deal with death.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's a touchy subject. I remember when, my dad passed away 10, 11 years ago, and I went out and I campaigned like the next day and worked. And some people were like, well, maybe you should just not do anything. But I was like, nah, you know what? I think if you sit around and think about it, it's probably worse. I mean, there's some
Right.
people
It
that
never
it's
gets
like,
easy, but you just learn to
no,
live with it.
yeah, it's like anything else, but
And so what I really want to take away from this, guys, that's watching this, anybody's watching, I'd rather hear your story than attend your funeral. And my inbox is always open. I'm always a good ear to listen to. I don't give the best advice sometimes. Sometimes I do. It depends on how you take it. But life is worth it. And
yeah, no, it's
think
definitely worth
about before you make that step. There's resources. There's a suicide prevention hotline you can call.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Boys and Girls Town hotline is still available. I'm not sure.
There's a phone number. I know in certain states there's like a special phone number. It's like a 1-800 number.
Something like that. But
they have it. Yeah.
But if you're having them thoughts, talk to somebody. Don't.
Yeah, you know what? Mental health is a big.
Okay.
No, you know what? Mental health is a really. It's a big deal.
It plays into wrestling. Folks don't realize that.
Well, there was a wrestler that came on my platform, a very good friend of mine from the UK, the Tribal Cheese. He actually quit wrestling in the middle of the ring. He had a match and in front of like 250 people, and he probably was responsible for a quarter of the gate. And he said, like, I'm done with wrestling. Hasn't come back since.
That's what John Rare did. John Rare walked away. He will not
go out there. He hasn't wrestled. He's become like he's a big deal. Got a big following, but he won't. So mental health is a big thing. It's just, growing up, you and I, people would have said, "Oh, you're depressed? Forget about it."
Yes, drink a beer, you'll be fine.
Yeah, people were like, "You're depressed?" People now, but it's a different world than it was, 20 years ago. But obviously, you're here in the ring, and Cato is here, and I'm going to do something for you after this match. And I want the deathmatch Juggalo to meet Cato for that. Because I have
like
something
I say,
for
guys,
you.
I really want, like I say, I want to drive home, man. Mental health is very important.
And Cato says it here. Omen has been, public about it. And I mean, it's a big thing. It's really, it's not easy.
And as wrestlers, you need to think, and the wrestlers is watching this, we take blows to the head. It takes its toll on you. It will take its toll on you. It does take its toll on you. You know what I mean? You have to you don't be the next Chris Benoit. You know what I mean? Don't.
No, you know what? It's
just saying.
I was watching on YouTube the other day, Just Incredible, how he scam promoters, and he's went through a lot of things.
Maven does a great show there. Maven is doing a great show.
I know Maven, Maven certainly, people have asked me to bring Maven on Sportswire. We'll see. But I got you instead. Let's go with that first. But again, you're wrestling another match that's, a little bit of a different style than we're used to seeing you here. And
right. But I'm having fun. I'm for this brief little period that I'm in this ring, I'm telling you, like, when the bell rang, I went into wrestler mode, I guess you could say, and like I was just on cruise. I wasn't even really thinking. I don't know. I just didn't think in this match. I just went out there and did my thing, and it turned out.
All right, let me ask you something totally different. You tell me your thoughts on this.
Okay.
If you were gonna wrestle, Lil Sicko here instead of doing what you did here, would you have had the same mindset?
No, I don't think I could have done a death match with everything that was going on at that time, because I believe I would have hurt myself or someone severely.
Why?
My mind wasn't for death. Every match your mind should be in there, but for a death match, you have to be extremely, extremely mindful and careful of just how you do things, your surroundings, what gimmicks are out there. Just little bitty things like Nick Gage. I'm sure he didn't think about it, but the light tube cut him and killed him. Literally, he died in that field in Delaware that day. But I mean, it cut his artery. You have to think about that. You've got to protect your dance partner, no matter if it's death match or traditional. But death match, you have to get in. You have to put your mind into the game before you have that match. Like, you have to mentally get there, because if you're not all the way amped and just ready to do this, then it's going to be a shit show from the get-go, in my opinion.
So maybe no more death matches. Maybe you should just, after what you just said there, I mean, it's
I don't think so, because now I am by the good grace of the good Lord and my wife and some good people, I am mentally stronger than I've ever been.
Well, you look great. I mean, you look great.
I appreciate that, man. I'm actually up to 200 pounds now, which was my goal. So now we got to start toning this stuff up. I'm still, like I say, fat and fabulous. I look like a lowercase.
Hey, listen, I just listened to The Godfather, who's turning 64, and I mean, he looks. So age just doesn't.
He looks phenomenal.
Yeah, he was talking about. He said he's in better shape now than when he last wrestled. So listen, you can, if you want to go out and get your body into shape, anybody can do it, and you've certainly been putting the work in. And talk to me about your opponents right now.
Well, Dynamic Dexter is one of the most unique people inside and outside of that ring you'll ever meet. I didn't want to have to do all this to him. I mean, I lit him up. I guess that was the vet just being.
No, you were letting them. You were putting out. You were unleashing emotions on him.
They know, everybody knows that I'm a snug worker. I'm very tight. But I won't hurt you. But you're gonna know I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
He just happened to be the one in the ring at that time taking all this. This is something right here, wrestlers pay. You see what I just did? I put his arm up there. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a match where a wrestler will automatically throw his arm up there. You know what I mean? It's little bitty things like that you have to pay attention to make yourself a better worker. If he'd done that, I'd probably hit him or something like that, then put his arm up there again or whatever. Jack Salem. I have nothing negative to say about this kid's work. Solid performer.
He's got a good look. I'll tell you what, he's got a good look. He's, another guy that seems to be, he knows how to work the crowd. I mean,
he's athletic. He knows psychology.
What's not to like?
Right. I mean, Jack has came a long way, and he's very young. I mean, he's only 18. I mean, and he's got a bright future. He's agile as all get out. Listens well. He does what's best for business, and I have a lot of respect for that young man.
Well, I mean, obviously, we can see why, and he's definitely a bump machine. I can say that.
He's took some insane bumps. As a matter of fact, there was a match that he was in not long after this show, the tag team match, and he wound up going through a ladder wrapped in barbed wire.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that was a night that they were standing at the front door trying to get in the building.
Wow.
I mean, that place was packed out.
Wow.
Like
so how do you feed off? You got a big, the big crowd here going through everything. How do you, how was the crowd? You were feeding off it. How are you feeding off the crowd?
The crowd was having fun because me and Dynamic were doing some comedy with it. But as you see, I mean, but it was just fun. And this is the part where it's like, why are you breaking up the pen? I told you not to break it up. And he's like, well, I want a piece of him. I said, well, go get him. And we just trade. It's basically two babies beating the snot out of a heel. You know what I mean? And the crowd really just loved it. They were whooping. They were dancing. They were having a good time, and that's what I do it for. The kids on the front row were whooping with me. I signed so many.
Well, you would be a good opponent for Omen Black and good for other players because Omen don't do it for the fans.
Well, then he's a selfish ass.
Well, he's also.
If you think any different, come change my mind.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Black will be paying attention closely, but
just by the way, I don't do shoot style like that. But I'm just saying, anybody wants to change my mind, I'm not hard to find.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Bronco Buster was certainly very clever.
Yes. And then here comes me just being complete opposite of what he's doing. Well, here we go. So I don't know why I did this, and
you know why you did it. You know why you did it. You're having fun, man. You're having fun. The crowd, you were feeding off the crowd. I mean,
I wasn't. Look, they're into it. I mean, everybody's into it. Everybody's having a great time. Even the wrestlers in the back, right there.
That hurts. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna leave a mark.
But I
That's
think he
good.
was wearing a cup that night or something, because something hurt when he hit me. I don't know.
I hope he did. I hope he did wear a cup. I mean, I don't want to see the cup, but
I've
definitely
learned one
not.
thing in wrestling: don't wear them. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I'm gonna let you wrestlers figure that one out. I'm not gonna ask any further on that. I don't want to turn this into Howard Stern night. I mean, but
There's pinching involved.
well, I'm gonna just say I'm not gonna turn this into Howard Stern. But we're here with the one and only Mr. Brian White, the Deathmatch Juggalo, who's got a big year ahead. Plus, I got something for him, and I got a surprise after
Look at that
this match.
suplex. That was a
Listen,
solid.
listen. So, and they say deathmatch wrestlers can't work. I mean, I saw Cage Match. It was funny. I saw one of the things on Cage Match about Carnage Club West. Oh, garbage wrestling. Yeah. How about that just now? Take that to the people
Well,
who
I
fight
say
in
this. I mean, if you think it's garbage, come and experience it for yourself. Because everybody that
Yeah,
doubted,
people, the people when they write that stuff, the keyboard warriors. You and I
of
both
course,
know.
but that's what keeps us going. I mean, if you're talking about me, you're talking about me. That's free publicity.
No,
I
that's
mean, I've
true
been talked
too.
about my entire career, and it, there's a few times that I might have got the best of me, but now I'm 40 years old now. I don't care what you think of me, because I'm gonna do it for them people out there that do love what I do. You know what I mean? The
Well,
ones that do appreciate
apparently, Omen Black doesn't like what you do because he said my ears must be ringing. Probably means some geriatric juggalo mentioned my name. How adorable!
it. So you're saying you want an old man to beat you up, or you want to beat an old man up? That doesn't sound good either way. But whatever. Hey, if you feeling froggy, jump on my lily pad.
I'm gonna leave that at that.
Yeah.
But still, you're definitely going a long time in the match here.
Yes.
This is
Cardio is one of my weakest points, I think. But then this one, I mean, I just kept going with it.
So what propelled you in a match that's usually longer than you went? Was it the style? What was it? The emotions?
It was the fans. They just wanted more of it. They wanted more and wanted more. And if they want it, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push down. I'm gonna keep going. They deserve that. They put their hard-earned money in to come to see that show, and I'm gonna give them something to leave and talk about.
Well, you definitely did, and you definitely did. But you're here, and obviously, he's being taken to the back because he
messed his knee up, hit the turnbuckle there.
Well, there you go. Accidents happen.
Yes,
literally.
Please do not try this at home. No, I remember that.
I'm not, and as far as I know,
he was playing possum.
You know what? I knew that because I watched it, but I covered a match here. Had to have been about maybe 4 months ago where the wrestler did the same exact thing. It was not correlated, but the wrestler did the same thing, and he did the same thing as well.
It's great. It's just we threw a lot of just obvious cliches, some of them in there. I mean, just different little things. We didn't call much of any of this. Like, this was just on the fly. I mean, like
I would think because you haven't been familiar with your opponents. You went through so much with going through the loss of your brother.
Mm-hmm.
So how could you have really sat and prepared this match for days? Oh yeah, or even to the venue. It was probably like, hey, who's got the finish? All right, but we'll just go out there and we'll just call it in the ring. I don't know. I'm spitballing it.
When we got there, they as respect, they's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, let's just go have fun. Let's give them something to talk about, and that's what we did. And the fans they reacted and appreciated it so much. See, more comedy, just falling down on for the pin. Just me and Dexter have good chemistry. I think I would love to tag team with him. I would love to tag team with him.
Well, you think that you'll get more opportunities like this with guys like this, or
absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do, because there's always a need for wrestlers somewhere, and you.
We just covered a show last night, two nights ago in West Virginia, Parkersburg, and they had cards subject to change pretty heavily.
Yeah, LAW. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, so LAW.
I was going to wrestle with them, but they wrestle on Wednesday nights. Kind of hard to go to Virginia on a midweek. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really would love to go there. They had Necro there not long ago.
and Mickey Knuckles.
Yes. So, folks, I mean, if you're not paying attention, LAW is coming up. This
Yeah,
right
they've been
here.
coming on here. They've been coming on here quite a bit. I've had them
Yeah.
on, about 5-6 times in the last. I think
Now,
you were
now
here.
right
for one of those.
here, this is not even have nothing to do with the match except for their storyline. This is Rafe that's going to come out here to them. I really don't know the storyline with them two, so don't look too much into that because I couldn't tell you. I don't want to tell you something wrong about it.
That's okay.
But it was definitely, you see, as I do, show the emotion when he's coming in. I point at him, my hands are trembling like this, whatever. I mean, if you hear the music, it was playing "Oh Death" was the song, and when you hear it, it gives you chills. I mean, and in that moment, I felt a presence. I'm not going to say it with my brother or anything like that, but I felt a presence that let me know it's going to be okay. I know that sounds so strange to people, and people can believe what they want, but in that moment, I felt peace at that moment.
Could you have gotten that piece anywhere else?
No. Well, yes, with my wife. My wife is my safe haven.
Well, that's well, all right. Well, that's
And
you got to
now
go.
Here we go. I didn't want to do this. Look, I just didn't. I love him so much, and I had to do it. The whole hatchet swing, and that was it. Lights out. But he's a good guy. I mean,
it's a big win, though.
It was a big one, and as you see, the emotions are running. I mean, right there, I'm breaking
down. Just
down.
let it all out there. You laid it all on the line.
I'm Brian again. I'm Brian Cummings again. I'm not Brian White. That's straight. Just all my heart and soul. I'm crying my eyes out. It was definitely something.
Well, I got something for you in a few minutes that I hope you don't shed a tear for when I give it to you. I hope because I see the chat is.
As I get older, I realize I'm a little bit more mushier,
I had Michael McMoney on, the man that might have tried to sign you in law. Almost cry when I mentioned something also. But Mr. Black is not crying because he said you had me invested in talking about mental health, but now mentioning me. Man, I'm just that damn good for he said LOL. But I said good match though. He was just joking around. But,
I know. Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't take it personal.
Yeah. I figured you being a veteran wouldn't. Two veterans talking.
Yeah. I know when someone's shooting and when they're not. I mean, if you don't,
Omen's not shooting on you. He's not.
No,
trust me.
No.
Not
I
on
think
you.
he would come to my inbox and talk to me like a man if there was something wrong. So no.
Two big men with tattoos and deathmatch wrestlers. Yeah, but speaking of somebody that wrong way, that's who I wanted to. There you go. But I had somebody here. I wanted to bring him on here because I have something that I wanted to present to the Deathmatch Juggalo, and I wanted just the man to be here for that moment, and that is Cato. Cato, I know you're probably supposed to.
I love you, brother.
But it's next weekend.
Brother.
Well, I wanted you to be here for a few minutes. I know you're a busy man because I got something for the Deathmatch Juggalo that I wanted you to be here for because obviously I think it'd certainly be a special moment for it. But obviously, if I could share my screen, which I know you're going to allow me to, but let me do that here now because I think it'll be the right time for it. And, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, congratulations. You're in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Don't cry on me now.
Whoop, whoop.
There you go. You're in the Hall of Fame. You're a Hall of Famer now. Congratulations.
That's my second Hall of Fame.
That's why I wanted Cato for a few minutes. And Cato's wearing his
man, who better to have than my boy?
I had to do it. I mean, I wasn't going to bring Jimmy Controversy on here because Jimmy wouldn't even know how to open the link. If
I miss you, Cato. I love you, brother. I miss you so much, man.
I miss you, brother. He was too busy getting his ass whooped by Tarzanian.
I saw that on Facebook, but actually, maybe Mr. White, it's if I could actually for a moment, and yes, hello to you, good to see you here. But, speaking of which, actually, because, Omen Black's here in the chat, and he was going back and forth. Cato's going to meet Omen Black, actually, on May 10th. I don't know what your card schedule is like on May 10th, but Cato's actually going to meet Omen Black. As a matter of fact, he's going to meet this guy, Ox McCoy, coming up in a Rage in the Cage. I don't know, sir, what's your availability like on May 10th, but Cato's meeting this Omen Black fellow. He's meeting him in person, in real life. He's meeting him.
Well, Omen, you better be getting ready for a fight. Is all I got to say, because that's a crazy little son of a bitch down there. I'm telling you, he's crazy. He's nice as he can be, but he's crazy.
Ox McCoy's gonna find that out, but I guess maybe who knows? Who knows? Never say never, I guess, to quote one of the people here in the chat. But by the way, congratulations to you, Cato. I saw you and Naomi tore the roof off last week.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, that was amazing. That was good times, man. Almost a year gone from that place, and I came back, and man, the feeling was incredible. The crowd was hot. There's nothing like it, man.
That's why I'm ready to come home to Deep South.
It's coming,
and I'm gonna welcome you with open arms and a big ass hug and a big whoop whoop with some Fago and some beer.
Yes.
And a candle second in the back of your hand, right? Yeah.
I needed this right here.
That's why I was listening.
You
were telling me.
I love this guy right here.
I knew that. No. I knew that. I know my audience. I know my base. Yeah. I know my chat perked up when this happened. I had to bring Cato on for a few minutes.
Yeah.
I had to do it. Right. I wasn't going to bring. Like I said,
I watched your match from Carnage Cup last year. Show stealer.
Oh man,
that was good,
amazing.
Man. That was good shit.
I'm looking forward to the 14th, man.
Oh, man, the King's gonna be there. Nick Gage will be at Carnage Cup.
You know what? And I have and I got to take care of some business here because we're on Instagram right now. And if you want to get in touch with the Deathmatch Juggalo, you must certainly give him a follow. Now, all of a sudden, I hear a bunch of people. If you want to go check out the Deathmatch Juggalo, let's move away from who's angry at each other. Let's join the conversation here. And Sean Jovi's back. And I don't know who's pissed at each other. Darkron's here. He wants to say hello. Another veteran. And if you want to get in touch with the Deathmatch Juggalo, he is on Instagram. And
inbox
there you go.
Always open.
The inbox is open, and he's got some merchandise. He's got some
Matter
stuff.
Matter of fact, I got some merch right here.
Let me take this off the screen. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Got a little lighter. There you
go. Smoke up. 420 came early, huh? 420 came.
No comment.
I don't smoke.
My boss.
Okay. You can smoke on my. I think we already went through this. You smoked on my platform before. I was like, yeah. You asked me. I was like, yeah. All right. I don't care. Go ahead. But
not me. I don't do that.
Yeah, well, somebody did. Was it Jesse? I think it was Jesse. But actually, Jesse, I haven't heard from in a while. But I do have merchandise. But let's move away from that. But we have some merchandise. It's coming soon. And Cato's got merchandise. So I saw that you're copying off Cato. So now you got to go get your own merchandise.
Well, we both have the same sponsor, Vinny over at UK Career.
Yes, Vinny's awesome. I've known Vinny for a
great
long time.
Guy. And Vinny, if you're watching this, thank you for all you do for us. Boss man, we love you. You're the best.
Well, yeah, Vinny, I've known Vinny, from some of the UK guys, Radu Bulad and some of the other people. Cato, I was trying to convince the Deathmatch Juggalo to join you overseas. And he was like, well, I'll think about it. Maybe not. And it was like, maybe
it's a lot of work. Tell him, Cato, there's a lot that's going to go into that.
I understand.
But I'll tell you right now, Tom, these two 40-year-olds go over there and whoop some ass any time of the week.
That's right.
And we got a new sponsor, by the way, which is by the way, what a small world. Law is sponsored by W, and you're sponsored by W now.
Yep. Yeah, I sure am. It's a different endeavor on that one. That one's a little bit more different, but it's got its perks. We'll just say that. That's me and Chewy right there. Yeah. Chewy is a mean son of a gun.
That's gonna hurt, but obviously a lot of good stuff, and Deep South, and
a lot of excited. Deep South.
Yeah, you're gonna hopefully be there at WrestleMania. I hope.
I want to be. I want to be.
You want to be? Well, why aren't you? Because Cato's gonna be there.
There's talks. There's talks being done. Don't worry.
Well, good. But Cato's here, and I know the chat wants to talk to you. We'll get to the chat in a minute. But Cato's in action coming up. Yep.
I do have a rematch with an old foe of mine coming up soon. With
So what do you
Hardcore
have
Hitler.
next? So what? Before I get to the chat here, where are you next coming up? I just showed
May 17th. I will be in New Jersey for IWA Vintage Pro.
Are you in Glock Cluster? Are you in Glock Cluster? Is that what I read you right?
Yes.
I know the venue. Yeah. Unfortunately, I would love to be there, but you're in the other end of Jersey, which means like sadly you're closer to Philadelphia. Whereas Glock Cluster is like it's like South Jersey. So you're
how far
like
is that from the 2300 arena?
It's probably closer to you're probably closer to there than to where I live physically. So I'd probably say you're about like maybe like 2 hours, 2 hours.
I'm gonna have to take a
take a picture and take a photo. Yeah, it's I'll
be there. I'm just gonna say that me and Hardcore Hillbilly will have a part 2. I'm not gonna announce where that's.
Yeah, don't do that here on this platform. Considering who's been on my platform and who's coming on my platform, don't do it.
There will be a part 2 of that, and it will be a death match. And there's some other things in the works. I just got my license in Alabama last night.
I did see that on Facebook, brother. Congratulations.
Yes. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to get out there this year. Like I said, there's a lot of states that have commissions that are just funky, weird, and very expensive, ridiculously expensive.
Well, Law just got the license in Pennsylvania now. Now they can wrestle book shows in Pennsylvania.
That's even better. See, expanding, growing, growth and development always.
But yes, okay. So we're in May 17th. We're at Glock Cluster. Okay, May 17th.
And like I said, I don't want to.
Yeah, don't spoil anything.
Yet till it's announced, but it is going to be a part 2 to me and Hardcore Hillbilly, and people need to stay tuned for that. That will be a blood fest, I promise you.
Well, sounds like bring your binoculars. Mr. Black would like to say, can't wait to meet Cato, cover your ears on this. Obviously, Anthony, he's talking to Anthony Steele. Can't wait to meet the Deathmatch Hornswoggle in May. Can't wait to pick his brain about the business from other places. Wait, maybe he'll pick your brain about working with Anthony. Nah, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. And Remy Roberts wants to show. I love Remy Roberts. Glad to see Omen and Remy friends. And it's pronounced Cato. Whoops. And he was. I didn't know Omen was a stand-up comedian. All of a sudden, boy, May 10th, you and him meeting. Oh boy, now you just wait for the fireworks. And I just spoke to Omen today for like 45 minutes on the phone, and it was like, let's just say it was an interesting conversation.
Omen, all I can tell you is don't get it twisted. He's smiling right now, but when he gets in that ring, the controversial one will do things that you never thought could be done to you.
Part 2 is going to be very bloody, by the way. Bloody.
Very.
Ask Neil
Diamond. So this one won't be ketchup packet induced.
No, there will be no ketchup packets.
Darn it! I was going to bring out some of my.
All the hard way, baby. All the hard way. The only way to go.
Darn it! I was just hoping that I would have brought my ketchup packets out. We did have one wrestler famously on here who Omen shares a locker room with that basically attempted to bleed live on Sportswire, but it was probably ketchup packet induced. We'll let the chat imagine who that was. But it was fun. Darkron wants to say hello. Dark, he's got a podcast too. He's another wrestler. He should interview you guys. He actually did an interview yesterday, and
always open.
Yeah, he's got the Dark Chronicles. He's also, by the way, 40. The 40 Club, the 40 Club.
We're fat and fabulous, and we love it.
The triple threat, the triple crown, the 40-40 Club. The Kentucky Derby hasn't taken place yet, but you guys could all do a show, the 40-40 Club.
Hey, look, besides Little Sicko and a few others, look at the Deep South roster. A lot of us are up there in age, and we're still.
I keep saying, Cato, I gotta say this. I know we'll end the show in a little bit, but I was telling, because Mr. White was talking about, well, maybe I'm going to retire, and I said, Necro Butcher's 51 and still going,
and beat cancer.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I told my wife, I said, Naomi, I'm just gonna beat the brakes off myself until the wheels fall off. But lately, I'm like, damn, man, do I really not want to be able to ride my ATV and go
it gets a little harder to get up in the morning, don't it?
Oh shit, man.
You only live. I don't know what to say. You only live once. I mean, listen.
I get that, but where I'm getting at is once the spotlight kind of fades, you need to gracefully bow
Well,
out when you can.
well, you know what? It's a pro. Listen, Ozzy is doing one more show, and Ozzy probably should have exited stage left. I don't know how many decades ago, and there are people that just keep going. I saw what was it, Phil Collins last year doing a show in a wheelchair. I mean, maybe some people just want to keep going.
Right.
Incredible, though. That was an incredible concert.
I agree. No, listen, I agree. Listen, I completely agree. But
I just don't want to be like you remember the movie The Wrestler? I don't want to be like the guy. I don't want to be sitting there in a round table with guys like Cato and me sitting there.
No, it's okay. You'll be on Sportswire more.
Well, I'm just saying I don't want to be sitting there, me and Cato sitting there with our heads down, talking about, damn, I'm baked or I'm just hurting that bad. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, and Remy Roberts is actually hoping that you shut up Anthony Steele, but I don't know. And you got to focus on Ox McCoy. You got to focus on Ox McCoy. Let's
not a pushover. Just so you know, he is no pushover.
Ox McCoy is it'll be a tough opponent. He's been around another veteran, and he's always here in the chat. And
look, I'll tell you this.
Right.
Cato is such a hardcore wrestler that he got the SWAT team called on us on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I've seen it. Listen, I've watched his matches on here. I know, and Naomi probably gets into it more than the average deathmatch wrestler. But Mr. Black apparently says, "Listen, Grams, I'm not worried about Cato. I'll just double up on my tetanus and rabies shot. I think he spelled tetanus wrong to be around Cato. He should be worried because when he's here, I'm going to steal his pot of gold." He's going to be a stand-up comedian. Don't listen.
You got no gold.
Well, I guess whatever. I don't know, but obviously, hardy har. But so, what else is on your mind, Mr. White? What else is on your mind here?
I just like to say, life is good right now.
You look good. You feel good. Family's good. I see you working, getting back in the ring.
Man.
Cato, I said tonight that I see a lot of similarities with you and Brian because you recharged for a couple of months. You wrestled last week and had a huge crowd in front of you. Showed me the video. And then you're back next week. And then you're at, another huge thing in May 3rd. Then you're back in Palo, Iowa for the first time, on the 10th. And then WrestleMania. And, I think you have something else in between that. So I kind of think it's the same similarity with Brian. It's kind of like almost you're in a good spot and you're recharged.
I am. I'm truly. Go ahead, Cato.
Go ahead, Brian. Oh, okay.
I'm a lot better than I was. When my brother passed, I just took that really hard for a while, and I was in a dark place. But by the grace of God and the love of my friends like Cato and you and my wife and my family, I got through it. And no, I'm not over it, but I'm learning to live with it.
Now, you know what? As we hear at the Deathmatch Juggalo, Brian White, and of course the controversial one, Cato, here for a few minutes. And of course, the Deathmatch Juggalo is the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, all wrestling as an Omen Black will be here tomorrow night. Spoiler alert, but he'll be here because Sean Jovi, who's wrestling Omen Black, they'll both be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. But we're here for a few more minutes with both guys. Because you'll never get over it. People told me, when my dad died, they'll say, the first year people will be like, "Hey, how you feeling?" And then they'll, after time, it won't go away. It'll get worse. They said the next year it'll get worse. And then after that, like you said, you'll adapt. But, you can only go forward. Unfortunately, we all deal with curveballs and roadblocks. And, look, you just got to keep going and,
keep swinging.
Keep punching. That's it, and I think you're going to figuratively and literally do that. And,
before you let me go, though, I need to get some shout outs to some folks.
Yes.
That's cool.
You can, sir, you can say anything you want. You're a Hall of Famer.
Well, I've got a little list here, but
give me the list. I want to put your YouTube link up here so we can get you
there's
more.
Some guys. Number one, I want to thank John Rare for everything he's done for me in my career.
You,
yeah, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for him. Number one. I want to thank my wife for being my rock and being there for me and support me through all that I've been through. And she just never wavered. Her love never wavers. To my crew at work, Dalton, Pops, G, Gavlin, all you guys, man. Thank you guys for always being there for your boss, man. I appreciate that a lot. My son, Hunter, I love you. And you guys, the fans, I do this for you. I do this because I love you so much and I love this business. And let's just see what 2025 holds. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to say I'm hanging it up yet, but I mean, if if business doesn't pick up, it's like I say, I need to take that graceful bow out.
It's tough. It's tough to find when it's exit stage left, in anything, whether you're a sports fan, right? And, Michael Jordan had the perfect retirement, but then came back, twice. Tom Brady in football was done and came back. I mean, there's, you look at, we talked about music, right? Ozzy, famously, I was a little kid, had the No More Tours tour. Then it was Retirement Sucks. And then, it was Ozfest. And then it was, well, the Osbournes. And,
Brett Favre.
we were done. And, now we're going to, do another show. Kiss. It was the other day, Gene and Paul are coming back, but this time not in the makeup. They're doing a residency, in wrestling, right? Ric Flair is always the name that people say, well, he had the perfect retirement. And well, he went back and wrestled, and then he came back again. And there's Mick Foley. And, it's like anything else in life. It's always difficult to find when it's the proper moment to say no mas, the famous boxing word. And, I think, listen, the best is yet to come. I think you've still got a lot to live for. And I think, Omen, yes, we agree. We love everybody, respect, and we had fun. And we love it's all good in a bag of chips. And I think that, Brian, you're going to do a lot of great things. And you better be back here sooner than like 9 months. I still can't believe it's been like 9 months, man. You got to come on here more often.
Absolutely.
You want to say anything else, Cato, before we close the show? You got any final words? Anything else you want to promote? Anything else you got for me? I'll put your Instagram up.
Honestly, I just want to thank Brian. Without your motivation and helping me out at Southern Outlaw Show, I mean, I was really nervous and to come back into the swing of things on the deathmatch side. But when we talked, dude, you lit up my world even prior to getting to that way. And I couldn't thank you enough, dude. And I was open about a lot of my kind of ups and downs, and man, mental health is a fucking pain in the ass, and it's a bitch, and it will beat you.
But never give up.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, I go through it a lot, and it's the love I have for my family and my true friends like you and Tom and a couple other guys, man, that keep me going.
Damn right.
No, I do want to say that if anybody is going through anything, you're welcome to message me. I may not get back to you, in a minute's time, but definitely we do take it very seriously. People, go through things that, are serious, and
and remember, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that, and like I said, it's a different world. Like I said, when I was growing up in Brooklyn, if you would have said you were depressed, people would have been like, what's wrong with you? But it's a different world now. There's a lot more, I think, understanding of people's mental dealings and, mental surroundings. Like I said, when I was growing up, if people, oh, you're a crybaby, whatever it was, but it's different. You don't know what people go through now. There's a lot, I think, as society, we've evolved. And, if we can help people as a community, I think that's most important. And, yeah, I mean, look, it's about knowing time. Yeah, you never know. But the only thing you can do is if you feel good, you're having a good time, just keep going, and whatever else, the best is yet to come. And there's no question, ladies and gentlemen, the best is yet to come for these two men, and especially the Deathmatch Juggalo, who is the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. I will most certainly give that certificate to you off the air. He joins Cato and Naomi. Naomi joined the Hall of Fame last week, and the Deathmatch Juggalo joins it this week. I thought, what better way to put him in the Hall of Fame? And yeah, Zilla respects everybody. Thank you, Zilla, for that. And definitely, we'll see you both very soon. Congratulations to you both, Cato.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you, especially in Palo. I'm going to be
love you, Cato.
About that. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voiced figuratively and literally. We're all wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, thank you so much for tuning in on the weekend edition of Sportswire Radio. Hit the like button for us. Give these guys a sub on their YouTube channels. And I'll be back here tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, with the one and only Sean Jovi. And yeah, I mean, being tough is a huge thing, but no one should ever feel too tough to break down every now and then. It strengthens us. Absolutely well said. I agree with you on that very much. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope everybody has a great night. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one. Go to the Sports Radio, where all wrestling matters.